An independent media usually means that it's independent from the government, because historically it was the government that captured media for maintaining political control. Achieving an independent media meant privatizing the media, and it now meant being controlled by private interests. Making the media independent from government was only the first step. Now, we need to make media independent from corporate control as well. Media independence must include independence from private special interests. Conflicts of interest exist when the media is controlled by private interests with other agendas or other interests. Conflicts of interest arise when private media is owned by organizations or individuals with other vested interests or other agendas. When the media is owned by the government, the conflict of interest was that those in power use the media to stay in power, and this still happens in some countries around the world. But when the media is owned by private corporations or individuals, the conflict of interest is that those in control of the media want to use it to maximize their profits or further their other interests in other areas of the economy. When governments control the media, they censure anything that makes them look bad, anything that goes against their political interests or undermines the ability of the government to stay in power. The government will censor any criticisms or any scandals that makes the population doubt whether or not that government should be in power. So we take it for granted that independence from state control is good, because it is a good thing, and it should be maintained. It allows us to hold our governments to account for their actions. This independence from government interference is a great achievement, and we don't want to undo that. What we do want to do is push the independence of the media even further. However, when private interests own the media, their goal is to maximize profits, and this motivates them to be more interested in entertaining us rather than keeping the people informed. The need to receive maximum advertising revenue makes private media less likely to investigate companies that are spending money to buy advertising on their channels. There are conflicts of interest when private media companies are owned by corporations that have business interests in other industries. Private interests may have ideological biases. Often this is motivated by their other material interests, which they will push onto people through their media channels. Another part of the problem is that private media companies will buy each other up until there are only a very few number of media companies. This leads to a higher concentration of media ownership and less diverse media, with fewer perspectives and voices being heard. Independence from government control was a great advancement for a free society. Now, we need to ensure that the media is also free from corporate control and the control of special interests. This is just as important for maintaining a healthy society and a strong democracy. In this series, we talk about media corporations a lot, and this will refer to any kind of organization that has control over any kind of media. This includes organizational structures that are for-profit or non-profit, and it can include state-owned enterprises or community-owned media sources. All of these types of organizations come under the heading of a media corporation. And we are doing this for simplicity rather than have to explain this every time. We also use the term media to refer to all kinds of media. So all our traditional sources of media like newspapers, radio, and television, as well as more modern forms of media like social media or online magazines. And also it will apply to any new types of media that might emerge in the future. Media refers to everything from the news and fact-based sources of information, such as scientific publications, all the way to sports channels and fictional dramas or opinion podcasts. Media is therefore a very broad term, and media corporations is a very broad term to refer to all kinds of channels or companies, organizations that are broadcasting any kind of media.